Hey guys, how you doing? It's me, Alan here. Fresh off a new haircut. no more big hats and everything on my videos. I've got my hair nicely trimmed again. So that'll be me for another, 4 months between it. I got my hair cut just before we started the videos. And then it's taken all the way till just now to get it cut again. It's way too easy just to put a hat on. Anyway guys, make sure you follow me at Lfcredchat if you're not already doing that. Facebook as well, Lfcredchat, and also make sure you hit the subscribe button either up here or it's down here in this corner somewhere. So, I've just sat, listened to the press conference again, did my notes, and basically just tell you what happened. And if you're not lucky enough to pay for the subscription to LFC TV Go, I was lucky enough. It was almost like a Christmas present for me. So I've got that for the year, so I'm more than willing to pass on some of the news and stuff like that, and you'll hear it in reports and stuff, snippets of it. You'll see little bits of it, but you don't get to see all of it. So I thought it'd be nice for you to pass it along. So first of all, before we really dig into it, I want to say this is maybe about my 10th interview that I really sat down and watched, and really watched Brendan Rodgers and stuff. And if you ever think a writer or something is like, I don't know, blowing smoke up his backside or something like that, or favouring him a little bit, I can say he's very mesmerising to sit and watch, and to watch him talk and the way he talks about people. He does go over the same things over and over again whenever he's got like his default answers for a couple of questions. I have noticed, whenever I ask about a player, he's always, fantastic, outstanding, great technician, all those kind of keywords that he just rehashes over and over again. But he is very mesmerising to watch. I wanted to point that out. So, first question, he was asked about Stevie Gerrard's contract. Dodged it. Straight out dodged it. He's nothing more to add. He looked a little bit annoyed with it, really. He was picky. He was annoyed with, and he looked a bit annoyed about being asked by it, but he was annoyed with the stories that had been running. He felt that some writers, some journalists had only picked out snippets of what he was saying during his interviews and used that as like the main headline. Stuff like the contract, if he was offered it at the start of the year, it feels like he was annoyed at that part. Then he was asked about match winners. So still in the case of Stevie Gerrard, with Stevie leaving, who's going to be the match winner? Are you going to go out and buy someone and bring him in, or do you think Raheem Sterling would step up into that? And he went on about Steven is a world-class player. He will leave a void, of course. Other players have to grab the mantle. So he's talking about other players in the squad already have to step up and become that game winner for the team. It's interesting to say that he said he will leave a void and he's a world-class player and stuff like that. It's well known that Stevie really likes Brendan Rodgers and Brendan Rodgers likes Stevie as well. So I don't know if maybe Brendan's a little bit annoyed that Stevie's leaving at this point, although from what I gather, Brendan did want to make him a squad player, and that was one of Stevie's big grievances. He didn't want to become a rotational or a squad player. He wanted to start every game. That's what he really wanted to do. Next question came up about Raheem Sterling's contract, and then he goes into what I like to call his default answer. He's an outstanding player. He's a great technician. He's fantastic and all the rest of it. He goes on to say, he's a young player that will really go on and improve and become, a real, he didn't say world beater, but it was basically what he was going towards. Well, I'm putting words in the mouth. It's basically what I read into it for what he was going towards. But then he was very stern. Then the journalist asked again, contract, and kind of shot him down, kind of said, no, that's between the club and his representatives, nothing really to do with me. We have later found out apparently he's very, very close to signing a new deal, a new long-term deal. Asked about Milner, so he was brought up about Milner. This is the only one that they really talked to about players being linked to the clubs, because he was pretty dismissive with it. He kind of nipped it in the bud, that kind of question. Like I said, he went into his default ones. These are exact quotes: outstanding, fantastic, Milner is. Watched him since he was at Leeds and stuff like that. But he said he's not going to talk about any players until they're in the door and they're actual Liverpool players, so you can ream off a whole big list of them and my answer will still be the same. So he nipped it in the bud by saying that, but he did go on to add, it could be, being the size of the club that Liverpool is, it could be just agents trying to get better deals. For me, I read into that way that Liverpool have absolutely no interest in Milner really at the moment, and this is being brought about because it's an agent saying, Liverpool are interested in Man City. How about you give James a bigger deal? He wants more money, wants to be playing more. Liverpool sniffing around. How about you give him a better deal before they snap him up? So, kind of alluded to that, I felt. So with being asked about new players, completely snipped in the bud, they went on to Sturridge. He said that Sturridge in the final stage of his rehab, some point in January, you should see him back in the squad. He was asked later on if he had a timeline in January. No. Would it be towards the end of January? Didn't really say. So he's in the final stages of it. So he's still in rehab. Still injured. A lot of people were saying, he's back. Sturridge is back, but he's not really training with the team yet. He's only back yesterday. It was. He landed back there in the UK. He was over here in the States and he went back to the UK. So final stage is rehab. So I would expect him. He said some part in January, but then he went on to say not at the end of January. So I would say some point towards the end, because if you look at it, you need 1 week to get back up and running into full training. You need another week to get somewhere close to match fitness. So that's 2 weeks already. We're almost 2 weeks into the month already. So by the end of that, you're coming to the end of January. Asked about Sunderland, difficult to break down, work hard and well. He went on to say that they're a very hard team to break down. He went on to mention the draws, like I had mentioned in the preview video if you haven't seen that. Sunderland have drawn 6 at home in 11 out of 20 matches already this year. They've had 11 draws and 3 wins. So he said that they're difficult to break down at the moment and to play with. Something that Liverpool really struggled in is breaking down teams that are willing to sit back and hit you on the counter attack. So he didn't talk too much about Sunderland really, for the Sunderland press call that the video was entitled to be. He didn't really talk much about that. It is January, you're talking a lot more about transfers anyway. Players coming in, Stevie Gerrard leaving. It's a big story that people want to talk about for a while. So you didn't get too much on Sunderland as per se, but he did go on to talk about losing players. And he said, interesting note, he said, he knew coming into the job when he took it that he would be coming into this period of great names, leaving the club. He was asked about, in successive seasons, you've had Jamie Carragher leave, you've had Suarez leave, and now you're going to have Stevie Gerrard leave at the end of it. And what are you going to do to fix that? He said that you want to bring in quality over quantity is what he's aiming for. To bring good players with a lot of quality, another one of his keywords. Quality, and it's not so much about the numbers. He did, when he was going on about it, he did have a very interesting to say about Pepe Reina. He named one of them as a great name at Liverpool, and he actually said Pepe needed to play regular. I got noted down here. So he actually said that some players like Pepe Reina, who's a great player and all the rest of it, needed to play a little bit more or wanted a new challenge. So he's I always thought that Pepe was kicked out more than Pepe leaving because of the wages that he was on. But it looks like here, the way that he's saying that is at the time he was probably thinking Mignolet was better than Pepe. Needed to play regular football. Interesting. Very interesting. I took that quote very interesting. That's to be a very interesting quote. It was a long video, so it was at least 12 minutes, which is the longest so far that I've seen of it. He was asked about the mad 10 minutes. There's mad 10 minutes in the Swansea game, the Leicester game, where you can see the goal and you almost can see 2 or 3. He says that every team always goes through a period of pressure in the game. No one dominates from start to finish. There's always at least a chance or something. It's fair enough. He did say, though, criticisingly, he thinks that the team has a tendency for mistakes, which is worrying if you have a tendency for it. And we all know, we've seen them, we do have a tendency for mistakes. he's kind of passing the blame on from him to the players, really, in my opinion there. But yeah, the team does have a tendency for mistakes, especially at the back. Silly errors every game, at least one a game. So back to players leaving the club, and this was interesting. He was asked if there was going to be any more departures. He said no, there won't be any departures. Everyone stays. They're going to stay, a couple out on loan, but that'll be it. Interesting, because the reports that I'm hearing is that Suso has already agreed a 4-year deal with AC Milan and he'll be gone. So has anybody told Brendan that Suso's leaving? I don't know. But apparently, the way he said it, no one had left. No one was going anywhere. Interesting. So that was it. That was a good long one. I'll add these in a little part. I'm going to do the post-match as well. Write up my post-match review that you'll be able to find on different websites somewhere along the way, and I'll make sure I tweet it. So it's very important that you follow me at Lfcredchat, all one word, no underscores, no nothing like that. And also follow me on Facebook as well. That'd be fantastic. Make sure you subscribe if you like the videos. This is a new feature that will be running throughout the year, so you're going to be able to get everything that was said in the pre-match stuff, everything that was said post-match, including like the Sky interviews, and then the interviews that he does with the written media afterwards. So a lot of stuff on the channel coming up. You know, you still have your previews, your reviews. I'm going to have some transfer news coming up. Today was a bit slow, so there wasn't really anything to really report because teams are getting ready for games and stuff, so the transfer was getting dies down. It will start back up after Sunday, of course. But yeah, make sure you check out my preview video on Sunderland. That's a big one that's up there just now. And we'll have more games, and also there's a Stevie JR tribute if you want to add on to that. Also, comment show will be coming up. I missed it out with the one that was supposed to be last week. It'll be a big bumper one coming up this week, episode 5. So if you want your comments added, make sure you write them down below in any of the videos, and I'll make sure to add them into the comment show. You'll get your name read out, your Twitter handle read out, your Facebook, your home address, your phone number, anything you want. If you want some more extra Liverpool followers, make sure that you get involved in the comments down below. Have a good one, guys. Stay safe for the game tomorrow. Have a good one tonight, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.